Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're an oldie but a goodie, welcome back. So I want to share my good and my bad in my new garden, and more for my insanity than yours. But if you like watching these kind of videos, keep on watching. All right, so first and foremost, all of my onions did not grow as big as I wanted them to, so I did cut some of the top off. And I'm not sure if you saw the short, I did go in and do obviously onion powder with the tops of the onions for onion powder, just in case the onions don't do too well. At least I have onion powder. I mean, my whole house smelled like onions while I was blending it, and then my storage barn smells like onions from all the freeze drying of the onions. So I have two jars full of onion powder. So my first noticeable, I would say, mistake would be some of these beds still need some kind of I would say some kind of something. They need something, even though, most of them had like the mushroom compost and all that stuff, because the onions did not grow. My guess is, can I tell you what I think? Sorry, while I water at the same time. My guess is that, first of all, I put all the onions together. Like, I don't think I separated the white from the yellow from the purple. And from all of my reading and understanding, obviously, because, I'm new at this. I'm not a professional farmer or anything of that sort, so you should do your own homework. But from my understanding, some of the onions would grow faster than others. Like, they have a different time frame for growing. And besides that, the fact that, I think something was wrong with, I didn't have enough nutrients to the soil. And I think I put them too close together. That's another thing that I think I did wrong. I think I put them too close together. Even though now that I topped them off, they don't look like they're that close together. So what happened was, I had the square method, and the square method said every 4. And then I want to say the people I got the onions from said every 6. So I want to say that somewhere in between there, there's a fly on my somewhere in between there, something was off. I don't know if it was the spacing. I don't know if it was the soil. I'm sorry. I'm not even looking where I'm right. I'm just making y'all watch while I water. And I'm not sure where clearly it went wrong. So it's a lesson learned. I think some of the onions we're in Tennessee, so technically we can do long and short. It didn't really matter in that aspect of it, but it did matter, I guess, the sunlight where I have them. Clearly, I don't think they get a full 6 hours, maybe 6 to 7 hours. So if they need more sun, clearly, and this spot is not the same. Now, don't forget, this is my first time gardening here in Tennessee. So I want to say, since this is my first time gardening here, I wasn't sure where the sun was gonna actually be versus where I needed to have the garden, right? So we picked the spot on where to cut the trees, but technically, you know, if you don't have the sun, we need the sun, then clearly you're not gonna get a nice garden. I mean, things have been growing, you know, look at the tomatoes, they look great. And then the weather here is so weird. I'm telling you, weird. The weather here is very weird. Like, today is supposed to be 20% chance of rain, but the skies look like it want to rain, but it's not raining. And I need to water my plants. So that's why in the middle of the day, clearly, I'm doing something that I probably shouldn't be doing, because technically this is not the time to be watering. I'm hoping that they don't get burnt, because I am watering the bottom base, not the top of the base. So hopefully they won't get burnt, but water is better than no water, I guess. So yeah, we're still learning, clearly. You can tell we're still learning. Some stuff, obviously the beds, it seems like this bed has some kind of bug issue where it ate my cabbage over there, but that bed over there is like full of cabbage and nothing has touched it, thank the Lord. But that kind of stuff is the kind of things that we were trying to learn. I did put a little bit of everything, I think, in each bed that I know that can grow together, according to my app. So I was safe in that portion of it, but now I know that obviously there's something here that's eating my cabbage. And I need a different spot for my onions. So I think I'm going to use this side for the onions next year and turn it around. And I'm going to write all this down in my notebook. Alright guys, so we're in today's video. I will be throwing this part right here. So this is my journal for 2025, obviously this year, and it had a section where I was able to draw something on the top and have what I wanted to do each month. So I decided to, for this section of the journal, is planned for a new year. That's what it's called. I decided to use it for the garden. So this was the first beginning drawing of how we wanted the garden, but it ended up being sort of like this. So this is like the entrance where you see all of the 5 round beds. Then you had the 4x8s, 4, 10, and then these are the potato rows, and then this is the empty side where we did the cover cropping. That's why it's empty. Then here it gives you every single month. Hold on a second. And then the bottom you have each month, and I put what I'm supposed to grow in each month based on my zone 7. So obviously this is my 2025, and then for 2026 I'm using my bullet journals. I'm not buying a journal because I have a lot of these. So I went in already and planned the 2026. And the first thing I put was my garden. Anything after that is my monthlies. So obviously I wrote in pencil because I need to check the almanac sometime in November to make sure that my last frost and my first frost is still the same based on the weather patterns and stuff. And then in here I will make the same design, which is this, but instead of having what I have here now, I am going to switch around what I have, like the onions. So bed 2, 3, and 4 says onions on them. We're totally switching it around next year, and we're not going to put onions here. We're going to put the onions on here, or maybe these 3. Because I did notice that up to the sun is not to the peak, the onions are not getting any sun. and I'm wondering if I'm not giving them enough sun, where the reason why they're not growing for me as big as they should be. So next year I will be doing these into onions. So I'll do like 5, 6, 7, and 8 into onions, and then switch everything around on these, like do the celery here unless I have enough celery. So the way I want to do it is based on how much I obviously harvest this year, will be based on what I'm doing next year. So I did half of this bed all of celery, so I'm pretty sure they look really great in the video. If you watch, I say celery, they look really good. So I think I have plenty of celery for like 2 years. The only time I use celery is for soups and chicken stock or any kind of stock. So that half a bed of celery should last me 2 years. So next year, any of these beds, I don't have to do celery. Now, depending on my tomatoes, also depends on how much space I'm gonna need for tomatoes for 2026. So I start thinking basically around now, depending on how my crops are doing, I end up planning for 2026. That's why everything here is in pencil. So I'll be doing the same drawing like this, but on this one for 2026, and I'll pencil in where I want to have the onions next year, which I know for a fact is going to be 5, 6, 7, and 8. The trellis is not permanent, or the arch is not permanent, so I can switch that around to any other one. And I think I am, because at the end of this year in October, sometime in October, I am gonna change. I need to fix these 2 beds, and I think this bed. They're a little crooked, so I need to fix them, fix the bottom, and then make sure that they're straight, because they were not straight. The arch was not straight, so I need to fix these 3 beds. But for next year, I will switch it around, maybe do the arch and a different one down here. Like the arch is not permanent, so I don't need to do cucumbers or any of that stuff permanently on this one. I can switch it around. So I can say for next year, for my insanity and not yours, we're going to plant onions in 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yep. And now back to the original video. That I have my garden book, obviously, because, not for nothing, but you do want to make sure, keep tabs on all this stuff, because if not, our season will end very shortly. Alright guys, I couldn't water and talk at the same time, but in order to fix the issue that I'm having, I am moving the rest of the mushroom compost for it to compost over there in that corner, right there. And so I've been throwing scraps, coffee grounds, anything good from obviously the garden, any plants and stuff like that, all the greens, I've been throwing it there. And when I get rabbit manure, I'll be throwing it in there. So, check out my potatoes. I'm tired. So it can get better for next year, because I do have to top up all the stuff clearly with the compost next year, and that's going to be exciting to have available. I have been harvesting raspberries. The blueberries are barely turning right now, so I'm not going to pick any because they're not ready yet. This one just had a few, but every time they turn, They turn brown, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I gotta look into it. But I am grabbing raspberries. Check it out. Raspberries. Got raspberries. Raspberries. These look like they can stay a little longer. And these can stay a little longer. Then we have the purple ones, but this one, listen, for this being a purple raspberry, that's very small. So, and then here's the white one, but the white one has not done any good. And this one just got flowers. So, and I think that's a thornless one, which I like. This one is thornless too, but I have been getting raspberries. I've been putting them in a baggie. Well, soaking them in water, putting them in a baggie. Saving them. My elderberry is growing flowers right there. It's the first one. This one doesn't have any flowers. Let's check on the other one. The sweet potato in this bed is growing, which that's a good thing. I had to put, actually, I ended up putting the mushroom compost on top of this bed because something was really wrong with this bed. I'm not sure what it was. But this one was very deficient. Everything in here was yellow. So we did cut down the onions, just like the other onions. We planted these onions the same time we planted those onions. And I know you see that. I mean, they're huge compared to these. So I know this bed was deficient with something. And then when I put tomatoes in there, the tomatoes started getting yellow. So I did top it off with the mushroom compost, and now it's doing a little bit better. All these beans was struggling, and now they're growing beans. So it must have been something with the bed itself. Don't forget, this bed, I did a covering of the shredded trees that we had, plus cow manure and topsoil, and that was it. Compared to that one had cow manure, topsoil, sand, and the mushroom compost. So that the other beds had more than this one. Obviously, the first bed over there, because that one was more for beets and carrots and stuff. That one had double the sand than these. So, yep. Hopefully everything comes back. There's the elderberry. It is growing. Let's see. Can I zoom you in? Right there. So, give it a couple of years before this can have elderberries in it too. We got peppers growing. Check out my peppers. So I do have a few peppers growing over here, which is great. All of this over here is struggling because it needs water, and my pump died. So I'm hoping it picks up when it rains. This week is supposed to rain. So I'm hoping that all my watermelon and my cukes pick up. So we shall see. This is the cucumber. They all need water. I got my first broccoli right there. So everything looks good in this bed for now. And the celery. So we have a few things that we have to change around starting next year, especially where the sun been on some of these things. So I'm gonna write this stuff down in my notebook, and next year should be a better year than this year. Thank you for watching. God bless. Don't forget to